hear the aircon going. No, you don't. Anyway, hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sasha. This is Sash Reads. This is my December wrap up. Oh my gosh, I'm filming this on the 4th of January. That is so unheard of for me. Anyway, I know I'll probably have lots of other videos to be doing, but this is one that I can just get done because I know what to talk about. And the start of the year has already been quite weird, hectic. I think because I know I'm going back to work in 2 weeks, I'm just getting flustered, and I'm just trying to at least get one video out a week, but we'll see how we go. So let's just go into the wrap up. I read 21 books this month. Who is she? Surprising enough, no, not surprising enough, not surprising at all. Only like 2 of them were on my TBR, and I had like 20 books on my TBR, so don't come at me. I read a total of 5,502 pages. Very disappointingly, I only read 2 BIPOC authors. I could have looked for more. My favorite read of the month, I think it's because I read it just last week, and that's why I put it as my favorite read, where at the start of the month could have been my favorite read, but I'm just not thinking about it. Anyway, it's called Not So Kind Regards by Cleo Evans. It was a very short, quick, smutty read. I read for the Smutathon that Riley and Lainey both host, and it's a monster office romance, and it's poly. It was very nice to see the female being the dom, which I don't see a lot of, especially like in a threesome. Like usually you've got like one male's a dom, one male's a switch, and then the female's the sub. So that was quite nice and refreshing. My worst read of the month was actually my first read of the month, and that was Unwrapped for You by Annie Charm. Ugh, I think I gave it 2 stars. Like I'm like, oh, plus size Christmas romance, awesome. It was not awesome. So basically, like, she has moved from London to the US because she got this job as a weather presenter. She's got a special name for it though. She's very, very uptight about how she's just not a weather girl. She is a geos, whatever. She keeps running into this guy who she thinks is super hot and sexy and hunky, but because she always takes everything that people say as an dig about her weight and about her looks and just about her, they got off on the wrong foot. And I'm just like, I don't like characters who like, they're just like, oh, they're always trying to find something bad about me. Like, just get over yourself. Not everything's about you. And then when she found out that he did like an OnlyFans, she couldn't believe it. She wanted him to stop, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, well, if you're not gonna stop, then I'm gonna start one. And he's like, no, I don't want that. And so it was just very hypocritical, the whole book, and the ending felt rushed. Like, I thought there'd be groveling and there was none. And yeah, I think they were both better off with other people. So that's that. I had 4 5-star reads, so not the best reading month. I had 12 4-star reads, 4 3-star reads, and 1 2-star read. And I read 8 physical books, 1 audio book, and 12 ebooks. So this month did get me to my 150 books of the year. I did mess up and I didn't write one of the books in my journal, so I actually read 151 books for the year. I don't think that's ever gonna happen again, but we'll see. Definitely ebooks, like Kindle, have definitely helped with that. One of my goals for 2023 was to read more of my physical TBR, so I don't think I'm gonna get to 150 books again unless I use Scribd and the library as like for digital versions of my physical TBR. Let's just get into it. So I've already talked about Unwrapped for You. I then read Yasha Hime Volume 1, which was for my manga reading video, which I did for Vlogmas, so I'll pop that up there for you. But it is, Vlogmas. Yeah, I did Vlogmas too, and I actually, bar one, I did post a video every day. Thank you so much to everyone who watched, who liked, who commented, who subscribed, who participated in the live streams. It was just so surreal and I had a really fun time. I stressed a bit. I'm very proud of myself and I hope you're proud of me too that I actually did that. I didn't have any hospital trips like the year before. I think Vlogmas is probably very doable for me. Well, it was. We'll see how this year goes in 2023. All in all, thank you everyone. Like a thank you. Thank you for watching this. Thank you. Just thank you. Okay, let's get back to the books. Yashahime Volume 1, which was for the manga reading vlog, which is a sequel to Inuyasha, and it's about Inuyasha and Sashomaru's daughters. One of Sashomaru's twins has thrown into the real world. I think the real world and the feudal Japan world, like they run the same time. So it's been however many years in feudal Japan as it has been in real Japan. So you actually find out that Kagome's brother has kind of adopted Sashomaru's daughter. They don't know that she is Sashomaru's daughter and they've like haven't heard from Kagome or Inuyasha in so long. Anyway, so I can't even remember her name. Anyway, she always had been a little bit different, and because she's Sashomaru's daughter, she's a bit awkward. She gets thrown back into feudal Japan and really like, hey, our parents have gone missing, let's go find them. And I never finished Inuyasha, but I still really enjoyed what I had seen. So it was nice that they did do like flashbacks of what happened, and I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to pick up the second one when it comes out. So I'm glad I started a manga series as it had already, like, because it's already started. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have 50 million volumes like Inuyasha does. Anyway, I then read Blue Flag for that video, which was another 4-star read, but I preferred Yashahime to Blue Flag. So Blue Flag is a slice of life about this girl who is like has a crush on like the popular guy in school, and about this guy who used to be besties with that popular guy but not anymore, and he kind of accidentally befriends the girl and starts like helping her try to get with the popular guy. Thinking about it now, might go down to a 3-star. It was cool, it's just, I don't know, I feel like Yashahime was there. I preferred Yashahime over Blue Flag. I then read for another vlog, Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J Maas. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this vlog. I used Pokemon Go to choose this book, and I really enjoyed the book. Reading this book and listening to Vigilante Shit by Taylor Swift, like they go hand in hand, and you should definitely do that. I never read this one before, so it was really nice to read Sarah J Maas's writing in a world that's not Fae and is DC, and I really enjoyed it, and just definitely watch that video if you want to hear more of my thoughts. I then read Forced Bonds by Jay Bree, well, listened to Forced Bonds, which is the 4th book in the Bonds That Tie series. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed the like relationship that Ollie was growing with each of her bonds, and even with Nox, even though they still kind of hate each other, their bonds like each other. Also her relationship with her friends, and it was just a really good time. And I just noticed that the 5th book has come out on audio, so I'm gonna start, I'll probably listen to that this month, which I'm really excited, and then I'm excited to meet the author in Rare as well. Then I read 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. I read this in like one day, and it was such a fun time. What did I give it? I gave it 4.5 stars. Why did I give it 4.5 and not 5? Oh no, I think it's because, like, I know the whole reason for this book is for her to like lie about who she is and to try and get back at her ex-boyfriend, and I just hated that. I hated that how she had to lie because they were so good for each other, but she was like, she kept not telling him, hey, I know who you are when I swiped to right. I knew who you are to this guy. I know who that guy is that you're talking about. It's just, why couldn't have she just said that? It could have avoided lots of stupid stuff. I then buddy read Hooked by Emily McIntyre with my friend Asha over at Asha Reads on Instagram, and it was such a fun time. I think I read this one pretty quickly as well. So this is a dark romance reimagining of Peter Pan, and it's focusing on Wendy and Captain Hook, but like Hook's like this guy who's kind of crawled his way out of a really dirt like mud patch from his childhood. His like parents been murdered and he's trying to get back at the guy who murdered his parents, but it'll be the right time. He's also trying to get back at like he was also like abused a lot when he was younger, and then Wendy walks into his club who looks like innocent, and he's like, I'm gonna break her. He finds out who Wendy's dad is, and then he's like, well, I definitely need to have her now, and it all goes from there. What did I give this one? I gave this one 4 stars. No, were you 4.5 as well? Yeah, you want a 4.5 as well. I know it was a dark romance, but there's also like the dark scenes were like, I was like, how are you going to come back from this? I think Wendy like flipped her switch very quickly, and I'm like, no one in their like real world would do that, but maybe, I don't know. I then read 25 Reasons to Hate Cowboys and Christmas by Elle Thorpe. This was a fun read. What did I give you? I gave this one 4 stars. So it's about this girl who's from Australia, and she like decorates like windows. No, that was window shopping. What does she do? Oh, she's like a rep, so she doesn't decorate windows, but she like does all the nice displays and stuff for people for Christmas. And so she gets sent to the middle of like America to just do the Christmas displays for this one store, and this guy comes in and he's like, I saw her and I wanted her, and he turned on the charm, and she's like, I'm only here for like 2 weeks, like nothing serious is gonna happen. It's very insta-lovey. I really had a fun time though, and I'm definitely like glad this was my introduction to Elle Thorpe. He's like a cowboy, and she does have like a bull riding series that kind of hinted at the end. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. A nice fun Christmas read. I then read Spy Family Volume 1. I gave this one 3 stars. Very overhyped. Everyone knows about this one, so I'm not going to talk about it. Ren then sent me a screenshot of this book, and I'm like, I need to read this. And so I picked it up like straight away. It's called Tinsel and Tentacles by Kate McParis. This was a fun time, let me tell you. So it's about like this pop star who's hiding a secret. No one knows that he's got tentacles. I don't know like why or how he's got tentacles, but anyway, his like closest people to him his bodyguard and his like PA, and they all have this like really like close-knit friendship. Anyway, it's Christmas in New York, and the PA walks into his bedroom and like sees him in the mirror that he's got tentacles, but like she doesn't know. So the security guard, like bodyguard, comes up and sees it too, and so they walk out and they kind of have like a attraction to each other, and then it's like about their romance, but also they like tentacle guy comes in too, and it's like this very nice poly relationship, and the sexy scenes are pretty sexy, and there's like this fun scene where they like go, like they disguise themselves and see like the big Christmas tree in Times Square or whatever, and that was really fun. They all like dressed up, and yeah, this like it was a nice fun Christmas read, and definitely next time you want to read a Christmas monster smart, get into this. And then read another Christmas novella, and that was The Naughty List by Sarah Kate. So this is like a taboo forbidden romance about this girl, I think she's like 19, and she comes home for Christmas, and her mum's got a new husband, and her husband's stepbrother comes to Christmas as well, and it's about her and the stepbrother, and it's the first time that they meet. There's no blood relation, just an age gap romance basically. And yeah, it was fun. I think I gave this one 3 stars. No, you're 4 stars. But I'm gonna put it down to a 3 because I can't remember much of it. It was just a nice fun Christmas novella. I then read Lost Without a Cause by Kayla Lassell, which was Sapphic Christmas. It's about the daughter of Santa Claus, whose name is Eve, and she was born on Christmas Eve, and it's about her. She doesn't want to become Santa Claus, so she runs away to this little town in the middle of America, and she meets this girl who needs a roommate, so they kind of like live together, so it's like forced proximity. I wasn't a big fan of it wasn't really breakup, third act breakup. It was a good Christmas book, let's just say that. I then read Merry Xmas by Courtney Walsh, which I gave 3.5 stars as well. This is about this girl who, she hasn't been home for Christmas in like 8 years. She's this like talk show, well, she's vying for this position of a talk show host, and so she goes home to try and get it because her mum, she always tells stories about her mum's like the queen of Christmas. Anyway, she goes home, she finds out that her ex-boyfriend who broke her heart has been going home to her parents for Christmas for the last like 6 years. And the whole book, her mum was on the ex-boyfriend's side the whole time, just because like she is his godmother, and his parents had died in a car accident like 6 years ago, and no, 8 years ago, and that's why they broke up. But she's taking his side because he doesn't have anyone for like, shut up. Yeah, it was just the whole time she was taking the ex-boyfriend's side, so it was a second chance romance. That's like my only, like one of my gripes about this book was because the mum was so on the ex-boyfriend's side. I hated it so much. Stand up for your daughter, stay on your daughter's side. Doesn't matter what happened, you stick with your daughter. Okay, capiche? I kind of was hoping for a romance, like a book about the brother, but that didn't happen, which a bit sucks. I then finished with Love from Wishing Co by Minnie Dark, like from a TBR like eons ago, and I gave it 3 stars, I think because it did take me so long to read it and because I didn't read it for like months, but it was fun. It was like more lying, and I just don't like lying in my books, so I think that's why it was 3 stars. I then picked up A Quart of Sugar and Spice by Rebecca F. Kenny, and it's a reimagining of The Nutcracker, because I read it for the Nutcracker readathon, which I only read that book. Anyway, so this is like a fey gender bent book because the Sugar Plum Fairy is a guy, and like every time he comes, his semen tastes different. So if that doesn't make you want to read it, I don't know what will. But other than that, it was really fun. It was dual POV between the 2 sisters, and like the Nutcracker and I think it's Louisa. Is it Louisa? I don't know. Nutcracker and his romance gave me big Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet vibes, and then I really liked how the Sugar Plum Fairy's girl was very like, she came out of a shell, and she's like that like super sexy librarian type, like looks real mousy and innocent, but like she's real dirty. And then I will pick up the next book because it focuses more on the Sugar Plum Fairy and that chick. Then read Merry Little Meet Cute by Sierra Simone and Julie Murphy. Gave this one 4 stars. Not really much to say about this one. I don't know why a lot of people aren't liking it. I really enjoyed it. Body positivity throughout the whole book, and how he was like completely obsessed with her. I liked her groveling though. Her groveling was really nice. I then read Merry Inkmas by Talia Hibbert and had a really fun time about that. This one is about this girl who works at this coffee shop, and she has like this super smoldering sexy guy come in and orders from her every time and says, surprise me. And then this homeless guy comes in, and the manager of the coffee shop is like, get out, get out, get out. And she's like, we need to help him. And he's like, you can get out too. So she gets fired from a coffee shop job. Anyway, her and the super sexy smoldering guy helps out the homeless person, and she ends up getting a job with him, and because he's actually works as a tattoo artist, so she works as reception. Turns out he's been completely obsessed with her since he first saw her, and she's like but he gives off very big, like, standoffish, like, don't talk to me, I hate you vibes. So she's getting mixed signals, and she stands up for herself. She's like, dude, if you want me, tell me, but don't act like you don't want me. Like, I'm not gonna stand for this, which was pretty cool. And then, like, they go home to her place for Christmas because her mum, like, her family is passed away. It was still a fun time though, definitely read it. Not my favorite Talia Hibbert, but definitely, I'm glad I read it. I then read Cheeky Royal by Nana Malone. This gave this one 5 stars. This is, okay, I know I said I don't like lying in my books, but this one, I liked this one. So this is about this girl whose whole family works as like security for the royal family of this Caribbean, and she's been tasked to find the crown prince because he's gone walkabout by the king. So she goes to find him, but she has to like pretend she's not a royal bodyguard. So she pretends she's like just a normal girl who's run into him, and he's pretending he's not a prince because he's looking for someone, because he doesn't want to be the crown prince. He wants to become a photographer and like show off all his prints and whatever. But she doesn't really want to be a real bodyguard either. She wants to just paint and live the life. So they're perfect for each other because they don't want their family responsibilities and just want to be creatives. And I'm all here for that. I really enjoyed it. It ended on a very big cliffhanger though, so I'm definitely keen to pick up the second book and find out what's gonna happen. But I'm glad I read this because I am meeting the author at Rare in Melbourne, so I'm pretty excited to, hopefully I'll grab one of her paperbacks beforehand. I then read my favorite book of the year, which was Not So Kind Regards by Cleo Evans. This was really fun. It's not slice of life though, because there is some suspicious going-ons in HR, and they're trying to, so basically about this book is you've got Warts Incorporated and Claws Incorporated, and you got Warts as the witches and Claws as the monsters, and they both like are tech companies. And one Monday morning you find out that the companies have merged, which sucks because they absolutely hate each other. It is like ingrained to them that witches and monsters hate each other, but they've merged. And so the two like bosses have to basically vie for the position of one boss. When the succubus, who is the boss of Claws, comes in, she catches the boss of Warts fucking one of his underlings on his desk. And then turns out like that the underling is actually like an Omega witch. I don't know what that means. I didn't really explain that, but it turns out that he can like go into like these mating sprees, and so he like becomes mated to both the succubus and the other witch, and he just like needs to be fucked. He basically needs to get the living daylights fucked out of him before because he'll get feverish and sweaty and all that. So yeah, and then basically the Warts boss subs to the succubus, and that was such a fun time. I really enjoyed this book, and I'm definitely going to pick up the rest of the series. I then read Window Shopping in one go, driving from Melbourne to Sydney. Had a really fun time. I gave this one 4 stars. It's about this girl who's just come out of jail, and she's like trying to find a new life in New York City, and she's looking at this like Christmas display window, and she's like, I could do this better. And the guy's like, oh really? And she's like, excuse me. And he's like tall in the suit. I kind of gave off like he was like plus size, but I'm not quite sure. But she's like, yeah. And he's like, all right, I'll give you a shot. You have a trial run. No, actually that's not what happened. He tries to get her to apply so that he can like find out who she is and then try to date her. He knows like that's real not cool. Cool not real. I don't know, I've been talking for too long. Anyway, she takes the job. They both like each other. They feel the attraction, but he's like, look, you can sign this thing that says that we can date. It's called the love contract. And she's like, what? And he's like, I know, but it's like not real love. Like it's just, we're gonna date. And she's like, I just got out of jail. I don't really feel like that's the right respect, like step for me. Anyway, so they kind of start fucking in secret, and she does really good at her window displays, and yeah, it was a really fun time. So basically she goes to jail because of this shitty friend, right? And she has this friend who is always like, poor me, but also, if you stick up for yourself, you're against me. And she's very toxic, and I liked the way that was written. Like, reading about a toxic friendship spoke to me. Looking at me. Anyway, I think I want to read more about people realizing friendships are toxic and standing up for themselves. So if you've got book recommendations for that, hit me up, please. I love the way that she stood up for herself in that respect. And then the last book of the year I read was a graphic novel while I was staying at Shani's house over at Shani and Books. Go give her a follow. She had Nimona on the shelves. I'm like, yo, I need to get my 150 book of the year. So I picked up the graphic novel and I only gave it 4 stars. I think just because the end felt really rushed and kind of, I know it, like, it was very open-ended. I know it's supposed to be, but I didn't like that it was open-ended. I feel like it could have been ended differently. You know what I mean? I liked the hint of like the queer relationship between the arch nemesis, and yeah, it was a fun quick read, and definitely pick it up if you want a fun quick read that hinted at queerness. Yeah, anyway, oh, I had the books right here and I didn't even pick them up. My favorite out of these, definitely Sarah J Maas's Soul Stealer. Those are the books that I read in the month of December. Let me know down below, did we read any of the same books? What was your favorite book of the month? And yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you next time. Bye.